Hi, this is Todd Olthoff from toddolthoff.com coming back at you with another screencast. And this week we're going to take a look at the beta software program for Apple's new OS, El Capitan. Now, I've had questions from people from time to time about how they could work with the Apple beta software, whether I've tried it out or not. And so what I thought I'd do is give you some ways that you can use this beta software yourself in a safe way that doesn't mess up your current setup, but allows you to kind of see all of the things that Apple has coming out, especially since this is a public beta and it's something that you can get access to. Now, before we get started, a couple of things just to tell you about. First of all, you want to make sure you have a backup. I talk about backups a lot in my screencasts, and no time then now, if you're going to do this, is a backup important. So you want to make sure you have either a time machine backup or a super duper backup or some kind of clone. Carbon copy cloner, whatever software you use to make that work, you want to have that up and ready to go so that way, just in case something goes wrong, you can easily restore back to where you were before. So that's really important. The other thing to realize is that this is beta software, so that means things will break. And so part of the process of actually using the software is to help Apple discover those bugs and be able to report those things so they can get them fixed. So I just want to sort of reiterate again, it's beta software, so a lot of your programs and things may not run on it. Some may, but there are some that may not. And so you just want to make sure that you know what you're getting into before you start it. Now, the way that I'm going to show you to do this will allow you to run your Yosemite and an El Capitan install side by side. In other words, it'll be a dual boot type of a setup. And so I'm going to walk you through what that looks like and how to do it. So here we are over on Apple's website for the beta. You can see here it's beta.apple.com for the beta program. And so, again, they kind of talk about how you participate and all of that sort of stuff. And so what we're going to do is just go ahead and you can either sign up or sign in if you're a member. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just sign in real quick right here. And so it's going to load that site for me. And here you want to put in your Apple ID that you're using for this. So I'm going to do that right now. I just want to show you the download and all of the different pieces to it. We're going to say sign in. And so it hits you right away with this agreement. And basically, again, they're warning you, hey, look, it's beta software. We recommend that you do it on a second system or device or on a secondary partition on your Mac, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. And so you have to accept their terms in order for that to happen. So we're going to go ahead and accept the terms. And so now they give you a guide for the various programs. This is the one for El Capitan and how to get started. And so you need to enroll your Mac to get started. And again, they go through and kind of talk about known issues. So we're going to click on this, enroll your Mac. And so again, they remind you to back up your Mac. Now you can install it. So we're going to go ahead and install, download the public beta. You notice here it gives us a redemption code. So you click the download button and then the Mac App Store will open with the code already entered. And the download will begin automatically. So let's go ahead and just click on that. We're going to go ahead and start that process here. Let me just center this. And so now it's going to ask me to sign in to redeem my code. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I'm going to say sign in. And so now it's going to sign me in to the App Store. You can see the code's already in there. I've redeemed my code. The app is now downloading. And so I can just click on done. And so I'm finished now. And so it's going to start that process of actually downloading and installing the El Capitan beta. In fact, if I just click on purchases here and have that load, we'll begin to see that it's starting its download process. So there it is. There's the public beta, and it's ready to go. As you can see, it's going to take a little bit of time for that to download, depending on how many people are hitting the server and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let this go ahead and do its download, and when it's done, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so the download has finished, and here you can see that the El Capitan install program has come up. Now, before we do this, we need to set up where we're going to install it. And in this case, what I'm going to do is show you how to install it on a partition on your existing Mac. Now, obviously, you could run this off of a USB 3 drive or off a something that you've got connected by USB 3 in terms of an external drive, and you could do that. But what I want to show you how to do is how to actually do it on your existing Mac, so you've got something you can use and just boot into it whenever you want to. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put the installer down here for a minute, and we're going to go to Disk Utilities. And so here we are in Disk Utilities, and what you want to do is go into your Macintosh hard drive, and you can see here that I've got about 188.9 gigabytes left. What you're going to want to do is we're going to create a new partition. And so you probably want to use maybe, let's say, 40 gigs or something like that. That's recommended. Again, I know you usually need a minimum of 20 gigabytes just to make sure this works right. And so what I'm going to do is show you how to create a partition with, with 50. Let's just do 50 gigabytes. So what I would do is come here and click the plus button. You notice now it gives me a new partition scheme here. And so what I can do is resize it to whatever I want. If I just click on this here, you can see that it's giving it that amount. If I just slide down, you see that I can give myself fewer gigs here. And so I'm just going to come all the way down, and let's go ahead and do let's do 65 just to be safe. So we're going to put somewhere right in there. Okay, 66.8, that's fine. And what we're going to do is we're just going to name this one El Capitan. That way we know which one that is. And so that looks great. Everything's set there. And you can see here's my other partition, which has the majority on it. And then here's my new partition. Now, I know you might be worried what happens when I don't want to use this anymore. Well, you can come back in and repartition and get rid of this space that you're setting up right now for El Capitan. So what we're going to do is say apply. And so it's telling you we're going to add this new partition. And this other one's going to be resized. So we're going to say, okay, go ahead and partition it. And so now it's going through and it is going to partition that volume. And you can see it's checking the information on the volume. Now it's starting to do its process. And so I'll just take a little bit of time to add that partition and get that all set up for me. And then when I'm done, this will give me the space that we're going to use to install El Capitan on. So I'm going to let this run here, and you can see it's checking the different files and everything, making sure everything's moved where it needs to be. Checking the catalog hierarchy. So I'm going to let this thing run for a little bit, and when it's done, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here I am with the partition all set up. Now, one of the things that happened was I had some disk errors that I had to repair. And so that's why some of the stuff on the side looks a little different and all that. I had to repair those disk errors first before I could make that partition, but that was just my system. So anyways, as you can see here now, we've got the two partitions that we need, so we're in good shape. So what I'm going to do is just quit Disk Utility here and go ahead and go out of that. And then I'm going to go back into the El Capitan installer. And we're going to go back through the installer here and say continue. And we're going to agree to the terms here and say agree again. And so now when we get to this part, we don't want to install it over our main Macintosh hard drive. So we're going to say show all disks. And as you can see, we've got this new partition here that we can select. And so again, once I select it, it says OS X will be installed on this particular disk. So we're going to say install. And so now we have to authenticate. And we'll say OK. And now it's going to start the process. It's going to prepare to install, and then the computer is going to restart automatically. And so I'm going to let that go ahead and run, and it will start its reinstall. And when it does that, I'm going to lose my Connect here. So I'm going to switch over to the camera. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and restart here so we can install it. So let's click on Restart there. And so now it's going to go about the process of starting to reinstall El Capitan on that partition that we set up. And so now the reinstall is happening. It's restarting. It's telling me it's got about 19 minutes or so remaining. And so the bar is moving. And so what we'll do is kind of let that roll. And when that's finished, we will come back and see what it looks like. Okay, it's starting its reboot now. So it went through the end of that install. It wasn't exactly the full 19 minutes that came up, so it was a little bit faster. But as you can see here, we're on our second kind of reboot here. So we're going to watch that, hopefully get all the way to the end there, and then we'll see where we're at with our install of the El Capitan beta. Okay, here we are in the startup screen, and it's telling us welcome, so we select our language. So this is just like we normally would do with a setup. And so again, we'll pick the US keyboard. Then you pick your Wi-Fi network that you want to use. So I'll put that in there. Let me just type in my password. Typed in, go continue. All right, and then of course it asks if I want to transfer information. I'm not going to transfer any information right now, but this is the migration assistant, so we're just going to leave it that way. You can enable location services. I'm not going to do that right now just to get through there. I'm going to say don't use. And then you can sign in with your Apple ID. I'm just going to say don't sign in just so we can show what it looks like getting through, but that's what you would do for iCloud and iMessage and all that sort of thing. So we're going to skip that. Then we accept the terms and conditions, agree. And then you got to create a computer account name. And so again, just like you normally would with a fresh install of the OS. So let me just go ahead and create that right now. Okay, once I've got all that in there, I just click on continue. And it's going to go ahead and create that account for me. And this will be my administrator account, just like I said, like you do normally when you log in. Okay, set your time zone. So that's fine. I'm just going to leave it there. And then whether or not you want to send in diagnostics. Again, usually you have the opportunity to say yes or no. In this case, because it's beta software, it is automatically defaulted to yes. So we're going to say continue. Now it's going to set up our Mac for us, and should take us to our brand new El Capitan home screen here. And so here we are on the home screen, and so what I'm going to do is switch over to recording the screen with ScreenFlow. So we'll be right back. Okay, so like I said, here we are now on the El Capitan desktop, and so we did the install. Like I said, the install wasn't too bad, didn't take too long, but again, this is beta software. So what they walk you through right away when you start this is how to engage the feedback assistant. You notice you have this new application that's here, and this is basically to allow you to report what's going on. So if you just click on continue here, it's going to ask you to accept the terms, and so we're going to again accept the terms. And then what you would do is sign in with your the Apple ID that you use to register for the beta software program. So I'm going to put that information in right now. Once you have that in there, you just click sign in. And so it's going to pull up mail for you right away inside the beta program. You can see it says it right here, and basically just says welcome to the beta program. And so this actually looks like mail, but it's actually the feedback assistant. And so you can go and report things through here. You can do drafts. Here's things that you've submitted. If you want to submit new feedback, maybe you found something that's broken, doesn't work, you say new feedback. It brings up this window, and you can provide a title for your report, what you're seeing with the issue, like which application is causing the problem, what issue you're reporting, is it a crash or what's going on, and then you try to describe the steps that helped you produce it, and you want to go into detail on that. And then it just has the build here. Which build was it? And it'll kind of default to the one that we've got here. And then, did you see the problem before using this, yes or no? So again, was it something that was happening previous to using the beta, or is it something new with the beta? And then when you're done, you would then click continue and go through the process of sending it in. You can see right now it's collecting 2 diagnostic files, so it's going to send those diagnostic files with my report. So I just wanted to show you that because it's really important that you report these things, because the more people that report them in detail, the odds that that fix will go right up to the top. Yeah, so I'm just going to click off this since I don't have an issue. We're going to say stop and close. And again, it shows that there's a draft there because it's something that we haven't worked on yet to send in. So let me just go ahead and close the feedback assistant. So that's all I have for this week. Hopefully that helps you understand how to install the El Capitan beta. Like I said, I wanted to show you how to do it in a way that would allow you to dual boot. And so right now this is on my my partition right now that I set up for El Capitan, just to show you. If I go into documents here, you'll notice that on the sidebar here, I've got my Macintosh hard drive, and this is my original one right there. And I am on the El Capitan one right now. So you can see that I'm on the same machine. I'm just booted into that new partition that I set up. So that's all I have for this week. I'll be back at you next week with another screencast to help you learn how to do more things with your Mac.